Welcome to Empathy Stories, where we share transformative journeys of the human spirit. Today, discover the moving tale of Emily, once celebrated for her glamorous life, yet forced to confront terminal illness and profound loss. Join us as we witness her remarkable evolution from admiration and luxury to strength, resilience, and the triumph of self-renewal. In a world that prizes elegance and success, Emily was the embodiment of glamour and charm. Married to a wealthy entrepreneur, her life was the envy of everyone around her, a dazzling blend of high society parties, sophisticated soirees, and the kind of comfort that few could ever imagine. Every public appearance, every graceful smile, reinforced the image of a woman who had it all. Yet beneath this shining exterior, destiny was quietly preparing to alter her course forever. It was on an unremarkable afternoon that Emily received the call which would shatter her idyllic world. Sitting in her tastefully decorated living room, with the golden light of late spring filtering through the windows, she listened in disbelief as the doctor's words fell upon her like a crushing blow: terminal cancer. The diagnosis came swiftly and without mercy, and in that moment, the vibrant hues of her life were replaced by a palette of muted grays. Even as fear crept into her heart, Emily resolved that she would face this challenge with the same grace that had defined her public persona. "I refuse to let this diagnosis define me," she murmured softly to herself, a steely determination kindling within her. Every day henceforth became a battle, a daily act of defiance against an enemy that seemed both relentless and unseen. Yet, as she summoned the courage to confront her illness, a deeper betrayal began to reveal itself. John, her husband, once her steadfast partner and pillar of strength, began to drift away. His warm embraces turned into distant nods and his comforting words were replaced by hurried excuses. "Emily, I must manage the new branch of our company overseas," he declared one evening with an unsettling detachment that left her heart aching. His departure, cloaked under the guise of business obligations, soon became evident as an abandonment. As he left, taking with him the hope of shared strength, the brilliant world Emily had known crumbled further. Meanwhile, Michael, their once cheerful son, became increasingly withdrawn. The lively laughter that used to echo through their home was replaced by silence and distant stares. In his eyes, Emily saw a reflection of his own despair, a silent acceptance of the growing chasm between them. One day, as she sat by the window watching the world outside continue indifferent to her pain, Michael was taken away by his father. The departure of her son, the one person who had always been her light, left Emily facing the harsh reality of her isolation. In that moment, as the echoes of abandonment reverberated around her, Emily was forced to confront not only the merciless progression of her illness but also the sting of betrayal from those who had once vowed to stand by her side. The life of admiration and comfort that she had so carefully built now felt painfully transient and empty. Yet amid the desolation, a quiet, resilient determination began to grow. With eyes that shone not with despair but with a fierce, inner resolve, Emily promised herself that she would not let these trials define her. Though left to face her hardship alone, she found solace in the thought that true strength is born in the crucible of suffering. As she embarked on this lonely journey, Emily clung to the hope that even in the darkest hours, a spark of courage could light the way toward a future rebuilt on her own terms. And so, with a heart full of both sorrow and defiant hope, she prepared to write the next chapter of her life, a chapter where her inner light would guide her through the shadows of betrayal and pain. In the months that followed the painful abandonment, Emily found herself standing at the crossroads of despair and defiance. The sterile corridors of the hospital became both her battleground and her sanctuary. Each day she faced a relentless storm of physical pain and emotional isolation, a solitude that was as crushing as the weight of her diagnosis. Yet, in the midst of the suffering, a quiet determination began to kindle within her, a spark that refused to be extinguished. Every morning, as the pale light crept through the window of her hospital room, Emily would whisper a promise to herself. "I will not be defeated by this darkness," she murmured, her voice trembling yet resolute. With each painful infusion and every long, sleepless night, she clung to that promise. The nurses and doctors, initially skeptical of her fragile condition, soon found themselves astonished by the strength that radiated from her. They marveled at how, Despite the invasive procedures and the endless cycle of treatment, Emily maintained a calm grace, a serenity that belied the turmoil raging inside her. During a particularly grueling chemotherapy session, one of the nurses, Maria, sat by her bedside and gently squeezed her hand. "You're so brave, Emily," Maria said softly, her eyes filled with genuine admiration. "I've never seen someone fight with such courage." Those words, simple and sincere, resonated deeply within Emily. They were a balm to her battered spirit, a reminder that even in isolation, there were those who believed in her strength. Outside the hospital walls, life continued its indifferent march. Yet within those sterile confines, Emily found moments of unexpected beauty. The rhythmic sound of rain against the window, the fleeting smiles of fellow patients, and even the quiet hum of the air conditioner. All these became symbols of persistence and renewal. In the quiet hours, when fear threatened to overwhelm her, Emily would recall a memory from her childhood, a time when she danced freely in the rain without a care in the world. That memory, vivid and heartwarming, ignited a small flame of hope within her heart. Time, as it always does, began to weave its healing magic. The relentless treatments gradually took their toll on the disease, and Emily's body, though scarred and weary, started to show signs of recovery. When the doctor finally announced that she was in remission, there was not a note of jubilation as one might expect, but rather a reflective calm. "This is not an end, but a new beginning," he told her gently, his voice resonating with both relief and caution. Stepping out of the hospital a year later felt surreal, a rebirth of sorts. Emily took tentative steps into a world that had once celebrated her for a life of luxury, but now offered her something more profound, the promise of a future she had fought tooth and nail to reclaim. With every step, she rediscovered the joy of simple pleasures. Morning walks in the park, the laughter of a kind stranger on a busy street, and the comfort of a warm cup of coffee became her new luxuries. Slowly, through the loving support of those who remained, friends who had stood by her side and new faces who became family, Emily rebuilt her life. The scars of the past did not vanish completely, but they served as a poignant reminder of the strength born in adversity. In moments of quiet reflection, she would recall the desperate nights in the hospital and the whispered promises to herself. And she knew that her journey was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Through pain and solitude, she had not only survived, but she had also triumphed, emerging with a renewed sense of purpose and a heart open to the beauty of each new day. Years had passed like quiet whispers, and Emily had slowly rebuilt her life, brick by brick, into a sanctuary of strength and self-respect. The lavish days of her past, once defined by admiration and luxury, had given way to a life of authenticity and quiet dignity. Every scar, every ache, had become a testament to her resilience, a silent reminder that the darkest nights can yield the most brilliant dawns. Yet, nothing could have prepared her for the unexpected knock on her door one crisp autumn afternoon. With hesitant steps, Emily opened the door, and there, standing on her threshold, were John and Michael. The passage of time had left its mark on them too. Their faces were etched with lines of regret. And their eyes, once filled with confident denial, now shimmered with remorse. John's suit looked disheveled, his demeanor stripped of the arrogance that had once masked his abandonment. Michael, now a young man, carried a silent sorrow that mirrored the loss they had inflicted upon her. "Emily," John began, his voice unsteady, laden with the weight of unsaid apologies. But words faltered as he searched her gaze for forgiveness that had long been denied. Emily's heart, though hardened by years of solitude and pain, fluttered with a mix of emotions. A rush of memories from the past mingled with the calm certainty of her present. For a fleeting moment, she saw in their eyes the regret of missed opportunities and the sorrow of choices made under the illusion of convenience. Yet, the years of battling her own demons had taught her a precious lesson. True strength comes from the ability to let go. Not for the sake of others, but to preserve one's own peace. "I know you're sorry," Emily said quietly, her voice steady yet imbued with an undeniable finality. "But I have learned that some wounds are not meant to be healed by those who caused them. I have carried my pain, fought my battles, and emerged whole despite everything." Her words resonated like a gentle chime in the cool air, a declaration of independence forged through years of inner struggle. Michael's eyes welled with tears. And for a moment, he reached out as if to bridge the chasm between them. "I wish I could take back all that hurt," he whispered, his voice raw with the yearning for redemption. But Emily, with a compassionate yet resolute smile, stepped back. "Redemption," she replied softly, "is a journey one must embark on within themselves. I have forgiven you in my heart long ago. Not to erase the past, but to free myself from its chains. However, forgiveness does not mean I must allow old wounds to reopen." John looked down, his gaze heavy with the realization of his mistakes. "I thought leaving would ease the pain, that I could start anew without it haunting me," he confessed. His admission, though belated, resonated with the truth that time could not erase regret. As the conversation lingered in the cool air, Emily felt an unexpected calm settle over her. She had transformed from a woman defined by her circumstances into one who defined her own destiny. In that quiet moment of confrontation, she understood that the reunion was not an opportunity to reconcile the past, but a chance to reaffirm her newfound identity. A woman who had learned that love begins with self-respect and that true renewal comes from within. With gentle determination, Emily closed the door, not out of bitterness but with the understanding that some chapters of life must remain closed. As she walked back into the sanctuary of her home, her heart was lightened by the lesson that had defined her journey. While the past may always linger like a shadow, the future is hers to create, a future where she stands tall, resilient, and unapologetically whole. Thank you for watching this powerful story of transformation and resilience. Emily's journey, from a life of admiration and luxury, through heartache and abandonment, to an empowered renewal, reminds us that even the deepest wounds can lead to extraordinary strength and growth. We hope her story touched your heart and inspired you to embrace life's challenges with courage. Your support means everything to us. Please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts as we continue to bring you stories of empathy and hope.